Thank you for clicking play on episode 7. In this one, Robert, Brian, Andrew, and Jordan via phone got together to react to the Valerian trailer. Then we discuss the newest Wonder Woman trailer and ponder who the villain of the film may be. Then we get on a train and shuttle into HBO's Westworld to try and break down episodes 5 and 6 of the show. We share our theories on what's going on and what we think will happen by the end of season 1. We take a brief detour during our big thing to talk about Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider and ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and our big thing, of course, this week was Doctor Strange, what we loved about the film, and its long-ranging effects on the MCU as a whole. As always, we wrap it up by asking who would win, Carnage versus Lobo. This episode turned out pretty good, and we keep getting better, and we'll keep going so long as you keep pressing play.
It's great.
So I press play.
Oh, hey.
We're all here.
We're getting tossed right into it
We're
this
all
year.
here. We're all queer. Get used to it.
Yeah.
So I'm Robert.
We're gay guys.
I'm Brian.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Jordan.
And Jordan's back.
He's in the mirror universe.
Yeah, I'm in the mirror dimension.
Trapped in the mirror universe.
So he's like here but not here.
Right.
You know?
He keeps knocking stuff over very gently.
But it's okay because it doesn't really affect us in this dimension.
But he's going through some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, I have about a good hour to call in. So
he is tripping balls right now.
I lost my sling ring. That
could be a problem.
I wonder what we're talking about this week.
So we have, obviously, as in every episode, we have a couple things to get through before we get to some big shit. So the Valerian trailer, that was, I don't know when that was released. Jordan, you tagged us in that.
I saw it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was just within the past week.
Okay. So some thoughts on the Valerian trailer, directed by Luc Besson. Besson. Of Fifth Element fame. Don't say Lucy.
Leon the Professional.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't going to say Lucy because I haven't seen Lucy.
I never saw Lucy. Was it not good?
It's not good.
Oh.
Leon the Professional. It's built on junk science. It's terrible.
The Limitless thing. Yeah, I hate that shit. But also, I did like Limitless. So
Limitless was cool.
Yeah, but same junk science though.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper was there. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh shit! He wrote Taken 2.
Luc Besson.
Taken 2.
I think he was involved in the original Taken as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on his IMDb page.
Oh, well, I was just going off of what the trailer told you,
right.
But I guess they were upping his sci-fi creds,
right?
To
and
try
that makes sense.
Probably, yeah.
That makes sense.
So Jordan, you tagged us in it, and you wanted to talk about it. So, what are some of your thoughts about the Valerian trailer?
Yeah, Jordan.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I like Cara Delevingne and I like Dane DeHaan. So it seems from the trailer, at least, that they've got a good amount of chemistry, like going into it. The visual effects look incredible.
Yeah, it looks like a CGI masterpiece.
It's really colorful and pretty to look at, and
it's like
if I were to nut on the screen,
it looks like if Fifth Element hate fucked Avatar.
I don't think hate fucking. I think if it was passionately made love to Avatar.
He took it out to dinner first.
That remains to be seen. But
the Fifth Element stuck their finger in somebody's blood.
I just don't understand what the fuck is going on. It seems an awful lot like the awkward cousin of the Fifth Element, with the gray, goofy bad guys in space, and even Rihanna is almost potentially Ruby Road. Like,
oh my god.
Jordan, do you have any thoughts on that, or can I just dive right into this?
No, dive right into that,
all right.
Brian.
Okay, so I actually looked into it because I'd heard about this a couple months ago, way before the trailer. It's based on a comic that has been out since the 60s.
Okay.
Like, it's a French comic called Valerian and Laureline, something like that.
Okay.
That's her character.
Okay.
Cardelvin's
Because
character.
the subtitle is like the city of a million.
And I think that was one of the trade paperbacks of the graphic novels was that. And it's like evidently vastly influential. Like it influenced Star Wars.
Okay.
Really?
It obviously influenced Fifth Element.
Oh, for sure. Right.
Yeah. Luc Besson has said outright, like, "Oh yeah, I grew up reading this."
Okay.
So yeah, it looks amazing to me.
Okay.
I was sold from like not even halfway through. I was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to see this."
Okay.
I love Fifth Element. It is. I saw that the weekend it came out back in, I think it was like 97 or 98, and I thought it was definitely 97 because I was still in high school. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and this looks like it could just kick that ass. Now, I might be wrong. It does have some things in common with some sci-fi movies recently that haven't kicked as much ass, like Jupiter Ascending.
I was going to just say
it's got a
Jupiter
little bit of that vibe, but it's I have more trust in Luc Besson than I do the Wachowskis right now.
Sure.
So, yeah,
the Wachowski sisters.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just saying the Wachowskis right now, just to make sure I'm covered. Yeah, just throwing my hands up in the air on that one, just saying the Wachowskis. But yeah, no, it looks great. And I've not really been on the Cara Delevingne train yet. But she's in that trailer. I'm just like, yeah, sign me up.
We're running a train.
Oh boy!
Never mind, sorry.
Boy, I really set that up for you.
Yeah, I'm glad Jordan said that. Not.
The weirdest thing to me about the trailer, beyond the goopy gray villains, is how Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne, whatever the fuck her last name is, they kind of look like their brother and sister, like in real life.
They have some similar traits.
It's fucking spooky.
They both look like they belong in like a Yoan Vasquez comic, like or Invader Zim or Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. They both look like they came off the pages of that.
I think they both just look like they're American Apparel ad guys. That's just me.
Jordan, you'll love this. When looking into it, there are time travel elements throughout the series. So I don't know if they'll bring.
Oh shit!
So we've got Cara Delevingne and time travel, and Jordan his pants are now
filling.
I'm hard in.
Andrew, how do you feel about it? Having just watched it 2 seconds ago.
As someone who's not a super huge sci-fi fan,
get out.
I'm more of like a fantasy, like high fantasy guy.
Okay.
But I think it looks cool.
Pussy.
I no fucking idea what it's about at this point.
That was one of my notes that I have here. Literally says, "What the fuck is happening?"
And I think that's it's the teaser. I think that's what they wanted to. But they've got us talking about it, and it's got 8 million views already.
Does it?
Yeah,
oh shit!
It looks
on
cool.
YouTube. So
I mean,
once they put
on the Facebook video, there's 13 million. So
it's huge.
Once the theatrical trailer comes out, that's going to be more about what the story is about. I looked into it, like the whole City of 1,000 Planets. It's kind of what I thought it was, where it's like it's a big city where there's just every species in the galaxy is there.
So it's New York.
Yes.
Yeah. Space
New York. Yes.
It's New York from Men in Black.
Yeah. So this is just Men in Black.
New York from Fifth Element.
Wow.
Weird.
Look, again, if they just make different Fifth Element, I'm all right with that.
They're spinning with each other.
Dude, I'm fine. Look, I would love a direct sequel, even though there would be no reason to, because that story was completely self-contained.
Open and shut.
And was perfect the way it was.
The very first time I saw Fifth Element, I hated it.
Yeah?
But I could not stop thinking about it, and then watched it 4 times in succession, and I love it.
and then we watched the new Resident Evil trailer, and it's just like, oh, Lilo Dallas multipass,
yeah.
The one thing that always bothers me in The Fifth Element, I like the movie, but there's one thing that always gets me is when they have the little blocks and he's going to put the sweat on there. Why does he light the match 4 feet away from it and then slowly just light the match directly above the thing and place it on there?
Because no one's perfect, man.
I guess not.
Tension.
You guess not.
They wanted to do at least 3 camera cuts around the match.
But it just don't do that. The fate of the galaxy is at stake here. You don't need to be dramatic, Bruce Willis.
Sometimes people can't. I don't know.
So, speaking of the fate of the galaxy, Wonder Woman trailer number 2.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I'm so fucking excited.
The fate of the galaxy is in her hand.
Yeah. Probably at some point.
I was surprised how leveled by that trailer was, because I was leveled by the first one.
Yeah.
And
the first one's powerful.
Yeah.
The second one spares none of that either.
Yeah. I love that it's... for some reason, I love the World War I setting.
Yeah.
That's such a cool idea, because that's not really territory you really see.
Nobody ever talks about that war.
I guess with the game Battlefield 1, which is awesome. By the way. It's a fun game.
High five.
High five.
There it is.
Battlefield Jinx. World War I.
So in the trailer, my favorite thing so far is what that beach battle could be.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like an amazing action set piece.
Oh, yeah.
The one where the one woman is like, she shoots the bow and then swings down.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
Those men are all dead.
They didn't make it out.
Steve's alive.
Trevor.
He's not. I mean, everyone else is done.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Yeah.
You can't set foot on Themyscira and be a man and live.
And unless you're Steve Trevor.
Unless you're Steve Trevor. But
and then the gunshots in the alleyway, and she's blocking them with her bracers.
Oh, when she just sticks her hand out real quick.
Dude, she's in, it's like 5 square feet of space, and she's blocking all these bullets with her arms.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The one scene at the end where I guess she's in the trenches.
Yes.
In the area, and like,
she
they're
rises
shooting
up.
the complete fucking uniform
oh
or
my God.
outfit. Yeah.
And then like there's this one bullet coming at her, and she just kind of casually like knocks it away without really looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like catches it.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
I'm in. I mean, obviously, duh. I mean, like as
for
if there was a question, but it was more like,
how good will it be?
how good will it be? But there was also like with these trailers coming out, I was like, would they fuck it up? Like with the trailers, they haven't.
No.
Yeah.
So it's now, can they keep this momentum, and can the movie live up to these 2 trailers?
So they probably won't do another trailer until much later on.
When is it? It's next year.
It's early
Right
June.
before release.
June. Oh,
It's
cool.
June. Wonder Woman is June.
Okay.
They moved it up. It was supposed to be late June. I think it's early June now.
Oh, cool. And of course, it has one of my favorite themes I've heard in recent years. And the very
Oh,
end
yeah.
of the trailer when she puts her gauntlet or the bracers together, and then
And then she's like flying towards the end of it. She's like up in the air,
Yeah.
which I was like, shit. But bigger question: who is the villain?
I don't know. I mean, did you see one person that
Some
had like
German dude.
I looked it up.
some
I
German?
looked.
okay.
It's not. I don't know that it's confirmed through the IMDb page, but Wonder Woman villains in general had a conversation about it with my cousin Samantha, who we featured on early episodes of the podcast.
Nice callback.
Yeah. And my cousin Paul, who looks to be getting in here eventually.
Nice call forward.
Nice call forward.
Yeah.
So foreshadowing and then a callback. So we're doing it all.
Yes.
The villain,
Is
in my
Polaris?
opinion, no. God damn
okay.
it, looks to be.
I get that.
That's a callback.
looks to be Dr. Poison.
That's a really.
Yeah. And Wonder Woman has a lot of villains in her rogues gallery that are random doctors.
Are we sure he's not?
Yeah, they're all doctors.
It's a female.
Are we sure it's not?
Because women can be doctors
All right,
too.
sure.
Brian.
Sorry. Are we sure she's not French and it's Dr. Poisson? So it's not Dr.
No,
Fish?
That's
Dr.
her like
Poisson.
actual name.
Oh, okay.
Her villain name is Poison.
Okay.
So Dr. Poison, really quick, is Princess Meru or something like that, who wears a bulky costume with a mask to hide her figure to obfuscate that she's a woman. She led a spy.
Oh, so then women can't be doctors. Okay.
According to her, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, she's a princess, so we're covering all
Princesses
bases.
can't be doctors. Whatever.
She ran a spy ring, and this one, her story took place in the World War II time
Okay,
frame.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they could easily retrofit that to be World
Yeah.
War One. Spy ring poisoned the U.S. Army's water with her poison that makes people do whatever the hell she says. to
Oh,
do.
okay. Oh, she's Poison Ivy. All right.
So she can
but
control
with
the
no wait.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
in a war
Doctor.
setting. She can control the U.S. Army essentially.
That's pretty cool.
So
That's a lot at
so
stake.
then when you watch the trailer with that in your head, it kind of makes more sense.
Okay.
So hopefully, calling it here in November, Pop Culture Shock Headcannon got it.
Yeah, we're calling it. We're doing our patented Calling it.
Dr. Poisson. Villain for Wonder Woman.
I think I would really like to see Cheetah or Giganta. I don't think they could do.
They will.
Cool.
I'd like to see Gigantor.
Yeah.
I used to watch that.
Gigantor is awesome.
Yeah, Wonder Woman versus Gigantor. Who would win?
No, you're jumping ahead.
He's the space age robot, and the power is in your hands.
Yeah,
Giggity.
Gigantor.
Power's always in my hands, Andrew.
You're gonna jerk off Gigantor.
That's the only power.
Jerking off Gigantor.
It's the only power I have is the power in my hands.
Off the rails.
Wait, what? Wonder Woman? That's right.
Bound to happen.
We went from Wonder Woman to jerking off a Japanese robot from the 50s.
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Pop culture shock, guys.
So any other quick hitter thoughts on Wonder Woman trailer?
No, it just looked great.
Can't wait to see it.
I've got a quick thing.
Go for it.
I'm just curious to see how much current Diana Prince we're going to see in this movie. Like, is it going to start and then she's going to reflect back on, what had happened, or is it going to start, with her back in World War One and then
just move forward till present?
Yeah.
My estimation would just, and even from a storytelling standpoint, it probably just makes sense to start present, reflect, and then show you the lead up to the beginning of the movie, probably.
Yeah,
in a non-linear storyline.
Start at the end.
Start at the end, and we cut back to the beginning.
Instead of just doing the boring old beginning, middle, and end, you start at the end, you jump backwards,
and then you lead up to the ending again, like Fight Club.
I love Fight Club.
Everybody loves Fight Club.
I love Fight Club.
It's a great novel, by the way.
I also love the promotional posters that they've been putting out for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because they're less, in my opinion, they're kind of less about her as Wonder Woman and more of just about the symbol.
That's cool.
Like the silhouette in a way.
So
that's cool.
I'm looking at 3 of them right now, and it's
sure you
power,
are.
Wonder, and courage are like the taglines for each of them.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool. You heard it here.
Hashtag that's cool.
Is that our first hashtag this week?
Hashtag that's cool. I'll write it down.
Okay.
That's cool.
Jesus.
Groundbreaking
here.
Like Robert, I agree how you're saying it represents the symbol of what she is. The character,
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this is a badass chick holding a sword.
No.
It's more than that.
We have 75 years of legacy to build this movie.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There it is again, everyone. That's cool. Hashtag that's cool. You heard it here. Because we're awesome.
You know what else is cool?
Because we're cool. We're that cool. When people say that's cool,
there's a little show on Homebox.
I'm sorry?
Called Westworld.
Oh. Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. All right, cool. We're just making sure that
we're rolling along. Yeah.
All right, flimsy segue number 1.
Yeah.
Hey, but the first one.
Oh. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys watch Westworld? All right, let's talk about that. Score.
So in the last episode we talked about basically episodes 1 through 4.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we've watched 5 and 6.
Yes.
And as we record this right now, number 7 is ending.
Balls.
So 5 and 6.
I haven't watched Walking Dead either. Shit.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Westworld has become the most glorious mindfuck.
In
the best way. With all due respect, what are you doing? Are you pouring water?
Your rock grinder is making a little bit more noise.
What kind of grit do you have in the tumbler?
Of course. Much like Robert Ford's rock grinder, but it was already a glorious mindfuck. Yeah, but it's just getting deeper and
the levels.
Yeah.
Layered.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. I'm not sure where to start. I will say, and we like to call it here first. So in the second episode, when Robert Ford runs into the little kid, and at first you think it might be an actual lost guest, then it clearly is a host. I was like, that's got to be either. Yeah. Well, I thought it might have been a remake of if he had a child that was maybe But then it was like, no, it's got to be him. Especially the way that they talked about the father and so forth. I was like,
I thought in the dialogue they made it. They didn't make it so clear that it was like, oh, that's clearly him.
Right,
but it was enough to make you go, that's probably an android of him.
But that does lead me into something. So, about what I think the narrative is.
Okay.
His new narrative.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So when that happened, he was out in an area where the burned steeple of the church that Dolores has seen in her memories was. So I think Ford's narrative is retelling whatever the fuck happened that led to Arnold's death.
I was going to say whatever happened to Arnold.
And I don't know if he's. I don't know what his end game is.
So could that even be the thing that's making all of the latent Arnold programming come to life within them?
Possibly.
Yeah.
As they get closer to fulfilling that narrative.
Possibly.
Which means it'll replay over again in my estimation. I was gonna ask, is the maze, they keep talking about the maze, the Man in Black's looking for the maze, Dolores has heard about the maze, is the maze just a MacGuffin? It's just a thing that's propelling the story forward. Or will we actually see a physical maze? Or are we watching the maze happen?
I think we're watching the maze happen.
Exactly.
No, I think that's what it is. I think it's a metaphorical, it's not a MacGuffin. I think it's actually... I think it's the narrative that's being done. I mean, I think that's all connected.
Okay.
I don't think it's a MacGuffin. It's just whether it's that Dolores is supposed to be the one who gets to the center or Maeve.
Okay.
Because
her name sounds like Maze, so I mean, put
two and two together.
Calling it.
Her name sounds more like maize as in corn. Okay, Robert.
Yeah, right.
God.
Oh, I agree because there's extra letters.
And they both end in an E.
Yes.
All right. Or whether it's supposed to be, spoiler alert, Bernard Lowe.
Okay.
Because is Bernard Lowe Arnold?
No.
No?
He's not Arnold. He is the android.
Sorry, no,
he is the android clone of
Arnold. Yes.
Right.
We know. Yeah, the original Arnold died.
So,
according to everyone,
on Westworld's, I think it's discoverwestworld.com.
Yeah.
They have the Westworld terms of service or whatever it would be, like the thing that you sign to enter the park.
Oh, cool.
And one of the things in there, it's buried in the list, is just anything you leave in the park is theirs. So if you go there and you leave something. They take ownership.
It's Delos Corporation's,
right? And that could be your semen inside the robot that they could use to clone you.
That's absolutely right. Oh my god!
And we've heard 1,000 times that Arnold died in the park.
Right?
Died in the park. His likeness is now Delos Corporation property.
Yep.
And
absolutely true.
And from episode 6, the confirmation that android clones do exist, even going back to the very first models.
Yeah.
Just all of those things compounded together lead me to believe that he is the android clone of Arnold. And you had brought up the photo being the thing that kind of blows the hole in that.
And then we saw
that the guy in the photo with Ford is his android clone father.
And there's a space in between.
Them.
That if we saw it from Bernard Lowe's perspective, he would have had the thing with that Dolores had when she looked at the picture of the woman in Times Square. Like I don't know what that it doesn't look like anything to me. So yeah, it's seeming really, really more and more likely that he is, and especially I just find there's too many coincidences and. For it not to be, because when he walked into that cottage and he said Arnold, that he was the one who said that, and I don't know, it's a little, and then of course the little nods, when he's talking to Elsie about well, I have been here forever, geez, come on, it's a little on the head, but it's also probably
the thing is that it's buried so deep within all the other things happening.
True.
That potentially casual viewers are just glossing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a funny little comment.
Yeah.
But
because I have seen a couple things from people burying the show. Like, it's lost me entirely. I'm just like, you're so wrong. You couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah. This might sound harsh, but it's the same thing with Inception.
Yeah.
I find, like, I don't know if it's an intelligence test per se, but maybe perceptual understanding or something like that. But people either get Inception or they don't.
Yeah.
And the people who don't get Inception, I don't really talk to them.
Well, it's that,
this show's very high concept.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Like,
and I think that's what loses people.
Watches like NCIS or whatever. This is not the same level of writing. It's way more complex. There's so many variables that you can look at and question. And another thing that we all kind of mentioned is, like, we all have these theories, and every single one of them could be true.
Still.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like, 6 episodes in, everything, like, is still up in the air.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And it's only 10 episodes this season. So things things are going to have to drop. Like, the other shoe has to come down eventually.
Do you think that the one theory that William is the Man in Black?
I was just about to get to that. Like,
I don't think it's the case anymore.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think it can be anymore because he met up with Ford and he was with Teddy, and they're going to Praia.
Well, okay.
Have you heard of the I don't want to say multiple timelines, but the we're watching 2 different storylines take place in different time eras. Have you considered that? Like, when we see...
That's what he's... I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So, in my estimation, they're still leaving it very ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I'm leaning more towards that William is not the Man in Black in the past. It could still be. I think it does take place in the past because...
The old logo.
The old logo does throw me off. It really does.
Also, when Bernard goes down to the 82nd floor, that only he has clearance for, or maybe Ford would be the other guy.
Ford also has clearance because that's when the show started on the 82nd floor. Ford was already down there.
He's the only other one that has, so that leaves credence to the other theory from earlier. But he goes down there, and when he boots up the old computer in, like, the worst working conditions on the planet,
right? And which I want to get back to that.
He boots up the computer. The old logo is on the computer,
right?
And that's the same logo that Jimmy Simpson saw when he came in. So I still think that there's definitely, we're going with 2 timelines here. When we see Jimmy Simpson, it's the past. And when we see the Man in Black, it is the far future, or the now.
Where they're making me think that it's possible that they're concurrent, is because they're leaving it lining up. So the Man in Black kills Lawrence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that night
we see Lawrence immediately.
No, that night, Dolores passes out in the deal, like kind of the deal. Oh God, I can't even.
Was that the episode with the like orgy scene, or is that the next episode?
No, that was what orgy. Yeah,
big old orgy.
But that was a little later in the episode. But so she passes out with Ford's words of, like, you should a dreamless slumber, or something like that. And so we see her talking to him. So you're led to think that this is currently happening because he looks the same old age as in the present timeline. And it makes sense that, he's talking about your modest loop, getting out of it and everything. And then the next day they meet up with El Lazo, which is Lawrence. So the timeline, the time does match up where they could have gotten Lawrence down from the tree, patched him up, and got him out to be El Lazo again. Yeah. So it's still ambiguous. But I do think it...
I don't think that the interview sequences or the diagnostic sequences that we see, I don't think any of them are necessarily in order order that we see them in each episode. Right. I think that when Bernard is talking to Dolores, that is Arnold talking to Dolores.
And again, now with that theory, that makes more and more sense because in the little office kind of area they were in, like,
totally
it looks,
different.
Looks like nothing else in the place. Like it would all be in her head.
So, and that was another thing that I had heard in reading stuff and things like that. Was that do they physically bring the hosts to a place, or is that some sort of VR thing that takes place in the host's head? Like, it was just very weird.
Yeah, we don't know for certain.
Yeah. We don't know anything.
We've never seen like the hosts been
carried
brought
from,
to the diagnostic things. They're just sitting there in their awesome nakedness. Well, okay, fair enough.
Either awesome and naked or mangled.
By the way, something I just wanted to say last time: Evan Rachel Wood. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's a beautiful woman.
And now that we've seen even more Tandy Newton, just good Lord.
Yes.
Like, dude, episode 6 was Tandy Newton entirely naked the entire time.
And
it's pretty
just God bless him, because
but I'm glad that you brought her up, and we mentioned Maeve earlier, but
Maze,
corn. Her story has
talking about corn.
It started off kind of weird. It started off kind of weird
yes.
in that, like, I didn't know where this was going, but it quickly turned into the monster of each episode, which is like, I want to see more of that and want to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
The sequence in episode 6 where she forces the guy Felix
and Sylvester.
Yes. They're cats.
Yes. So great. So fucking
their names,
great.
Their famous name is Sylvester.
Sylvester.
Their famous
That's
cartoon
awesome.
Catman.
Yes.
That's amazing.
When she forces him to bring her upstairs to show her everything, it was the most powerful thing I think I've ever watched.
And the fucking music that was in the background, I
believe it's Radiohead.
It was Radiohead. It was Fake Plastic Trees, I believe, by Radiohead. Or was that an
that
earlier
was
part?
playing?
That was at the saloon.
That was playing.
Right?
That was the player piano. That was.
I know
playing.
at least they've.
But I don't know this. I was trying to figure out the orchestral version of whatever it was. I think Fake Plastic Trees was earlier, but
it's another Radiohead song.
I'm not surprised.
From what I understand, they've used Radiohead 3 times now, including this sequence that I'm talking about.
No Surprises.
Yeah.
Fake Plastic Trees,
and then the one. But regardless, the music was totally on.
And the music is amazing.
So it was such a powerful thing, because, and that's where the meta element of the show comes in. You're watching her react, but also try to not react to the things that she's seeing because of the position that she's now in.
Right.
But it's also like watching a person walk through the creation of Earth, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a religious experience. And I don't get bogged down in religious stuff very often, but I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, I rolled a tear
at the
legitimately
very least,
watching that episode.
At the very least, spiritual. But I agree. It was powerful.
And her reaction at the end when she's like, how is my dream
dude
up there? And
oh
it's
my
like,
god.
And he's like, that's an older build.
And like seeing the glimpses of like her previous build and like her daughter.
Yeah. She got upset, like, because it's emotional for her, because, like, oh my god, I know that was me, we did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's just some shit that we programmed you for last time. I'm like,
yeah.
So, there's a couple things I want to talk about, definitely. First is, with Maeve, so in the movie,
the movie Westworld from the 70s.
The movie Westworld.
Written by Michael Crichton.
Written and directed by Michael Crichton. Basically, the hosts go homicidal.
Yeah.
And people are dying in medieval world, Roman world, Westworld, all of them. Is this where we're leading? Because now Maeve threatens Sylvester.
Right.
And now they just upped her perceptual, or I can't remember the term, but basically her intelligence. Yeah, her intelligence
all the way.
As high as it can go.
Yeah.
Knock down pain and loyalty.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. So
which is awesome.
She's about to just start fucking everybody.
Yeah,
up.
I mean, is that where we're headed with this?
Yeah. Possible. It should be. How the fuck? Like, what do you even do?
Elsie said it herself that
we didn't talk about that yet.
That
Jesus.
The shit she found was like, the hosts could be lying to us. It's possible they could hurt us and the guests. Like,
well, I mean, I feel like the whole lying thing, or at least not coming right out with it, goes back to when Bernard is talking to Dolores at one point when he's like, "You haven't told anybody,"
right?
And she never says no. She just says, "You told me not to," which is kind of a way around it. So it could have been happening already.
And then when Ford talks to her, I believe it's when Ford talks to her and he leaves her. She's
talking to someone.
She talks to someone that's not there,
and then his younger self lied to him.
So
But those are different. Those are
fucking
different
lied
builds,
about killing the dog.
Yeah, and then his younger self lied about the dog thing.
Yeah.
But they're different because they only listen to him. So I feel like they're a separate thing to begin with.
They don't only listen to him because his younger selves, android said that Arnold told him to kill the dog.
Right.
But he also listened to the Man in Black when he told him to go fetch some water.
Right. And the words he used, or lead to what I started talking about. Is the words he used was like Arnold said that it had to be put out of its misery, and that the only way to make sure it wouldn't hurt anything else was if it was killed.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just seeing.
You're waiting for the
shoe to drop. Like, oh, okay, now humanity.
Yeah.
All right, humans have to go.
Which will be
It was interesting because in episode 5, I think, when Ford was telling the story about the dog and how it went after the cat, it was this whole big, shocking thing. It's almost like his ghosts from the past are now starting to come back.
Yeah.
You know, like a traumatic experience like that.
Yeah.
And when it was the one when he spent years trying to get it, and then he finally did, and he didn't know what to do with himself.
Right.
So that's why Ford. I mean, that's
metaphor.
That's obviously why he's doing the new narrative and all that. But it's just this show.
There's so many levels.
This show.
There's so many levels.
Something I definitely want to point out. I don't know if anyone else saw it. So when Lo in episode 6 goes back down to basement level 82, which I just want to say. So I noticed this from the first episode. Basement level 82 is not one level clearly.
Right.
We see that when they first arrive, they come down the elevator and then they go down some escalators that don't work, and there's a Delos kind of globe-looking logo thing. So that's clearly an abandoned
part of
something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that always intrigued me from the get-go. Now in episode 6, he goes down, and you see him taking a flashlight. Did you happen to see what his flashlight caught?
Yes.
A version of the Man in Black, and that is the Yul Brynner version from the fucking
from the
Westworld.
Oh yeah.
So theory now that the events of the movie actually happened
already,
because in the movie, at some point, the Man in Black, played by Yul Brynner, is chasing the protagonist. I can't remember his name, through not just the parks, but also through like the inner workings of the parks and the office and everything. Right. So is this possible that this has happened before, and basement level 82 is the old Delos, area that got ransacked? I don't know. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
It's completely torn apart.
Yeah. It's possible that they just put him back there as a
that'd be
absolutely.
I mean, it could just be an Easter egg, but that would be amazing.
Yeah. But that might be too contingent on people knowing the movie and having seen it.
Maybe you could get away with it.
Oh no, I totally think you could get away with it.
Even
Jordan and I wrote a sequel that you could watch without watching the first one.
Right.
I understand. I'm just saying.
Because of time travel.
To guilty.
And all the time travel
DVD's
that's
coming
guilty.
soon.
DVD's coming soon. Anyway.
But I mean, it's certainly possible they could be utilizing that as well. And what if the stuff that happened in the movie were the thing that happened to Arnold?
Yeah.
Arnold died in that situation.
Yeah.
And then all of this has moved forward.
Totally
possible.
Again, every theory is that could be a thing.
Every single one.
You said you wanted to talk about Elsie.
Oh yeah.
And how much I want to bone her. But she said there was no way. Sorry.
Thank you, Brian.
So
first of all, going into an abandoned theater.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. So there's stuff that bothered people about that episode, that her decision, in that it was really bad. But you could argue that she was just kind of driven by wanting to figure out what the fuck was going on.
And I can argue that back easily because they're in the fucking park.
Right. She shouldn't have anything to fear.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and they made it spooky in there.
Yeah.
It was legit creepy.
So,
the way they did it.
Real quick, the sense of dread
for sure,
that has been building, especially in that episode. The first time I watched it was so intense.
Yeah.
I was sitting with my hands on my forehead
Mm-hmm.
from about the half-hour mark going forward. Just like, oh my god, where is this going? Like, it's just.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we have not watched episode 7 yet. But I don't think that the person that came out of the back and grabbed her is anything that we have to worry about. I think it's the security guy.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I think he's just going, "What the hell are you doing out here?
Right.
You should have some. Like, what the? Like, I don't think it's going to be any."
I was curious. I looked at the cast listing for the next episode. She's in it, so that's entirely possible that her body's in it. But you know, that does count.
I don't think they would kill off.
No,
I mean,
not yet.
How many episodes
Not
is
yet.
it?
10.
And what are we on?
7 aired tonight.
Balls.
Jinx.
Okay.
Third
Hashtag 7 aired tonight.
Right. So is it just whenever we high five, whatever preceded the high five is the hashtag?
Yeah, sure. I'm not trying to make any sense about it.
Hashtag proceeded the high five. Oh my god!
But he's writing it down.
Let's also talk about what else he discovered.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
it's good.
hey, you know, Jordan, I'm going to give you a high five through the mirror universe. Hashtag what he discovered. Write it down, Rob.
Nope.
Fucking
That's
write
it. I got 3.
Fucker.
3's the max.
Hashtag 3's
Yeah. So she discovered. So the whole episode was all of this crazy shit, and then she discovers corporate espionage.
Right.
And are people more or less interested in the corporate espionage versus the stuff that actually is taking place?
I'm absolutely interested in it.
No, I am too. I'm
yeah,
saying
I think it
in
looks
general.
interesting.
Are people like, this is dumb? Just I want to see the things getting shot.
No, I feel like people that are really big fans of this show want a more cerebral kind of storyline, and you throw something like that, it's just a whole nother layer of crazy shit that's going to affect what happens in the park anyway.
Yeah,
and
I it's so fucking, and like Bernard was like right in front of her, right in front of Teresa.
Yeah,
when he finds out that she's the one doing the
that
stuff.
Danish teetotaling twat.
Oh, that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and he fucking pisses. Oh, fucking God, fuck that guy.
He pisses.
Little acid rain on Sweetwater.
He pisses on the map that's floating in the middle, and the map is physical.
Is real.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't.
What the fuck?
Again, fucking future.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a physical.
It's like physical holography or something like that. Yeah.
So fucking weird.
And now it's got pee on it.
And now it's got pee on it. Somebody's got to scrub it.
A lot of pee.
But I wonder if somebody has to go in there and clean it. Like, is there like a huge rag in actual Sweetwater that comes out of the sky?
Yes. His piss
was rain.
Was actually acid.
Actually rain in
rain.
Sweetwater.
Yes.
We don't know.
Everyone.
Another thing, it could be true.
All those vacationing in Sweetwater got a nice golden shower that day. They didn't even realize.
I can just picture like Teresa just one day just like fuck, I'm kind of poking a building just to see what happens.
Jesus Christ.
That's a.
We found a fatal flaw. If anyone gets on that map, the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, you think they would have put something like a sneeze guard around that or something?
But
chicken wire.
So Elsie finds that
Yes.
Teresa is the one that's doing the stuff or whatever.
And then she said, "But that's not all."
Right.
And Lo hangs up.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
What
Thanks a
else
lot,
did she fucking find? Yeah.
So it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Watch episode 7.
Yeah.
Talk about it eventually. It's just all of these wonderfully strange things in that show. Just
So season 2 of Stranger Things.
confirmed. Halfway through confirmed.
so like it's so strange that it hurts, and that I think I need a doctor.
Do you now? You need
These puns make me
Yeah.
levitate.
Let me give you a hand for that one. That was pretty good.
Because his hands are broken.
I think we all need to open our eye.
Oh.
So the big topic for today.
That's why I'm Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. I get it.
So we all saw Doctor Strange.
Oh, shit. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Recommend that everybody see it.
Yeah.
The number one movie in the world.
The number
2
one
weekends in a row.
2 weekends in a row.
Because everyone needs to escape reality.
Yeah.
Well, this was
In
beforehand.
the worst
This was
fucking
beforehand.
way.
I saw it on Thursday. I needed that shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was number 1 this weekend too.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And it's gonna probably be number 1 next weekend.
So it was.
Oh wait, no, that. Oh, yeah.
So it was a lot of fun to see in 3D.
I didn't see it in 3D.
You didn't?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, you need to go do
The
that.
one time I'd
IMAX
actually wish I'd seen a
3D,
movie in
and it was
3D.
incredible.
I'm sorry, Jordan. What?
he saw an IMAX 3D.
Oh, yeah,
So did we.
yeah.
Well, I
that
didn't
was.
feel like spending $400 on a movie ticket to go see it in IMAX 3D. So
It's
I
worth
spent
it.
$13 to see it.
It was absolutely worth it.
It was one of the best IMAX 3D films like I've ever seen. It lent itself perfectly to that whole thing.
All of the stuff,
I can
all of the
fucking
magic.
Imagine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't like seeing movies twice, but for that experience, like seeing
In
twice in the
theaters.
theater,
Yeah,
in theaters.
I got you.
But for that experience, especially 3D, that fucking acid trip of a movie,
you didn't
I
go
would
see.
love to.
You didn't go see Avengers twice in theaters.
No.
Iron Man, like any of these huge fucking movies that you love. You've never Dark Knight. You didn't see twice in theaters.
No.
What the fuck?
I
can't even relate.
I saw Scott Pilgrim twice in the theater.
All right, well
But that's it.
Brian's going all Maeve when he finds out his speech pattern is all thought of.
real quick.
Oh, we should have talked about that. That was
Real
cool.
quick, that fucking scene was great.
Yeah, it was.
Where
When
she's
she, like,
trying to
shuts her
outsmart herself
Yeah.
and then just shuts the fuck down. Oh, goddamn.
Dude, Felix's reaction was amazing.
Oh, shit. I broke it!
He's like fucking furiously trying to turn it back on. He's like, just unplug it, plug it back in. Is that gonna?
The light's blinking. It's yellow now. The light's yellow.
Anyway,
So Doctor
yes,
Strange.
absolutely
Yeah.
go see it a second time and see it in IMAX 3D
I'll
the
see
second
if
time.
see
It
if
is,
the lady friend wants to go. Do
it's
that.
fucking great.
Honestly, it took my eyes a little while to adjust
For sure.
for the first
That's because you're a pussy.
5-6 minutes.
No.
Especially when like trippy shit started happening.
Yeah, no,
it
dude,
took
I
me a second.
Totally understand, especially that opening
But-
sequence where they immediately jump into where you're at now, the mirror universe,
Yeah.
the mirror dimension. That to start the movie off there made it. You immediately were lost
Yeah.
in what the
Yeah.
fuck is possible, which was so much fun.
I will say, I feel like the movie could have been a half hour longer. To me, like I felt like there were some pacing issues from time to time, and then
Little
other
bit.
times it was like when he was training with the ancient, it was spot on. I felt like
Okay.
that whole bit.
Because I was going to say, I think some of the stuff that I've read about, like the negative things people have said about it, are that he just reads these books and all of a sudden he's capable
Yep.
of doing all this
He's
shit.
a prodigy, is the thing.
That was
He's a
my
genius.
issue. One of my issues with the film.
Yeah, but the thing
After
is that
I
he's
walked away and I was just thinking like, oh, so he learned how to fight. You
And he's
know, he
Yeah. Okay, that was the fighting thing.
everything has basically been handed to this character.
Hey,
and
hey.
I feel like he's not.
He needs it.
Well,
Yeah.
He
so
has a
that,
photographic memory.
that's one
too.
of he has a photographic memory. He's obviously a genius, but to like a other level.
So,
But that was one of the things about him, like that Jordan's leading into, is kind of he was one of the more irredeemable people that the MCU's
He
created.
was just selfish as shit.
He's selfish as
mean,
shit,
but-
and it's
but,
so
okay.
much fun to watch that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that, but he was also a good guy. He was a
Yeah.
total prick, but he was also a good. He saved lives. I mean, he did it to, one
To
because
save
of
For himself, yeah.
But I mean, underneath that, there was still the will to do good.
Yeah, well, he's a doctor. Like, but in my estimation, he's the way I looked at it was Tony Stark is an asshole, but underneath that, he's choosing to just do this, so that makes him ultimately good, and he wants to help people in that way.
Right, but he originally did not want to help people.
Right.
He
No,
was,
but
yeah.
they turned that.
right.
Where Doctor Strange just kind of seems like it's not going to really turn.
Yeah.
He just kind of is like out for himself. I mean, he did the whole
No,
time
yeah,
thing
absolutely.
at the end,
No. I agree.
But I just think that even still, he was kind of doing it for himself.
No, he absolutely
the
was.
end.
He absolutely was. He wanted to get his hands back so that he could get back to being the greatest neurosurgeon ever.
Right.
The thing where I'll say where him picking stuff up Like, and unless I guess maybe you know that going in that Doctor Strange is like one of the most powerful characters in the comics in Marvel.
Well, I don't know if he still is Sorcerer Supreme
in the comic book. You mean?
Yeah,
he's been and he hasn't been.
Brother Voodoo.
Yeah,
isn't
Brother Voodoo.
But I whether he is right now or not doesn't really matter. He has been. He's just been one of the most powerful entities in the fucking Marvel universe. And
toe-to-toe Dormammu.
And so, honestly, that shit just kind of made sense to me. Like, he's gonna pick this shit up. He's Doctor fucking Strange.
I
the
agree completely.
The thing is, like watching, like in the theater watching the movie, my suspension of belief was like 100%. Like I was not in any way bothered by anything that I watched in the movie.
Yeah,
like I was in 100% from the opening sequence till the end credit scene.
I know.
We'll get there.
I was.
Hold on.
100%. I was
Steady.
in. I was totally in.
Yeah.
None of the stuff bothered me, but also the movie was fucking funny.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. I mean, I saw it
like
Thursday, so it wasn't a whole lot of people in the theater, but
almost.
So, but it was still funny.
Arguably funnier than Ant-Man.
Almost.
Yeah, I would
maybe on par. I can't say it was funnier,
but like there was
Ant-Man was fucking hilarious.
There were so many fucking good great lines and good jokes.
Yeah,
and stuff was on the fucking nose.
Yeah.
With the having what the fuck is his name? Wong, not laughing at anything.
And then, I loved him.
And then laughing at that really that
of course.
Oh, so good.
I will say that it did have some predictability to it.
Mm-hmm. It's in the Marvel Studios machine,
and that's and I completely understand. There's a formula. They
the
follow it. What?
They fight the evil doppelganger.
Yeah.
The villain.
Oh, yeah.
The guy, everybody's bad guy, has the same powers as them.
Yeah, of course, yes. So, yeah, I mean, I get that, but just because a couple things were predictable doesn't mean that I enjoyed it any less.
No, because I honestly, in a future episode where we rank our favorite MCU movies, I have a hard time not putting it at least in a top 5 consideration.
At this moment, I would say it's one of my top MCU movies. It was just so fucking good. I mean, it's up there with first Iron Man and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
I want to say just the cast once again, MCU or Marvel, just fucking killing it.
The cast was, and I remarked that to you as soon as it ended.
Small.
Such a tight cast. Yeah. There were 15 people if you threw in a big extra.
Yeah.
That's a really, really, really tight cast.
And I think your reasoning is sound that they did that so that they could just completely splooge all the fucking
all the CG that they needed for the film. They're like, we could do this with 7 people, right?
Yeah. when the Ancient One first sends his consciousness across thousands of dimensions.
So I was going to ask what everybody's favorite what is your favorite sequence in the movie? Jordan, you first. What's your favorite sequence?
Okay, mine was the astro projection.
Okay.
In the hospital room when Ridley
that was awesome.
Character was operating.
Oh, that was fucking great.
Fighting with the guy.
That was so cool.
That was so great.
Yeah.
Brian, your favorite sequence?
For me, that sealed it for me. I was like, okay, that's awesome. Everything astro projection was cool as fuck.
Well, and that's because it's something that we haven't seen in universe yet. So the fact that it's possible is really intriguing and fun to actually see play out. Brian, what's your favorite sequence in the movie?
That's tough because honestly, it was from the beginning to end. It was just top notch. It's a tie for me between the battle at the Sanctum Sanctorum, where he uses the 3 portals to different parts of the world. It sends one of them out of the desert. That was fucking great.
And then has to spin it.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to spin it, but he's fighting the other guy.
Yeah.
And then he reaches back and hits it again.
Yeah.
And it fucking spins and it's gone.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the guy in the desert so you could see how it plays out for him. And he's like, damn
this
it.
basically got shit.
Yeah. and then the battle where, spoiler, the Ancient One gets killed.
Oh, dude,
that battle
that
in the Mirror Universe was fucking incredible. And I mean...
It's rough.
But it was great.
It was great.
I mean, it was...
Where she makes the arena. Out of all the different parts.
I love Inception, and this
they utilized a similar.
This
thing,
was
but
Inception on meth, crack, steroids.
Inception on Molly. It was Inception on Molly. Real fucking psychedelic.
LSD, shrooms, DMT, all of the above. It was, and so I would have to say that those two also tie with then the Dormammu.
So Andrew,
I've come to bargain.
Yeah. So Jordan, Andrew, what's your favorite sequence?
Because I was gonna say the first time the Ancient One sends his consciousness through all the different realities.
That's absolutely my favorite.
You already took it. You can't take that.
No,
you can't. No, you come up with something on your own.
Well, and then the whole when you get to the end when they're in Hong Kong and you're like, oh, well, they're not even going to show the fight. That's lame. And then the entire fight scene is done in reverse.
Yeah.
And you're like, what
yeah.
shit
That was fucking great.
Yeah. And then I mean the end with Dormammu, how he beats him. I mean, he could have been there for 1,000 years doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And arguably he might have been.
I'm here to make I'm here to make a bargain.
No, I've come to bargain.
I come to bargain, and then he gets murdered. One
of the coolest things, one of the coolest shots for me was visually seeing someone go back in through a car windshield in reverse and getting thrown through it.
Yeah.
Or wrong.
That was so interesting to me.
So my favorite sequence was when she first sends him astrally through all of the different dimensions.
Yeah.
To kind of break his spirit, but also kind of break his spirit, but also kind of like show him like she's not fucking around.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about it was like he's flying through them and he's screaming.
Yeah.
Because he's freaking out, man.
Because his fucking brain is melting.
He's freaking out because his brain's melting. But then he's also, his physical body is sitting in a chair and she's talking to it, and you hear it through all of the dimensions, and it's making him go more and more crazy.
Or when she's like, his heart rate's too high, and he kind of comes back, it's like he's fine.
And then right back out again. Dude, coolest fucking, that was absolutely my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take away from any of the other stuff in the movie, but that was the thing, and it's right at the beginning that sold me on the rest of everything to come.
Again, this blowjob was not quite as good as this blowjob. It was still a blowjob.
Yeah, for sure.
You still got blown.
I did.
Yeah.
Hashtag got blown.
We went to 4.
Got blown.
Hashtag we went to 4.
Hashtag we went to 4.
So was there anything that was a huge surprise to you in it? Was there anything like that you were like, what?
Yeah, because I for the first time in a long time, I was able to stay spoiler free on this.
Yeah.
I had seen a headline, something about, Dormammu in it, or whatever. So when the name came up in, because you saw him in that astral project, or
you see his eyes.
Journey. Yeah, you see his eyes, and then you hear Caecilius actually say it when they get that power that makes their eyes all fucked up and everything,
because that's like the dark dimension
on their eyes. You hear it, and I was like, oh. The biggest surprise to me was that they showed him as full on Sorcerer Supreme talking with fucking Thor in that in that mid credits scene.
Yeah.
That was fucking.
And he was just like,
phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean, but he's full on. He's so in charge. He's got a list of entities that he wants to keep off Earth. Like that's. I cannot stress how fucking psyched that made me, because we're finally we're into phase 3 now, and both phases so far have been amazing. I've loved it every step of the way, and it's felt like when Avengers hit, we're like, oh my god, we finally got Avengers, and then Guardians hit, and we're like, oh my god, we're getting into space, and now with Doctor Strange, I feel like we're getting the complete fucking Marvel universe. I mean, we're not going to have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four anytime soon.
Unfortunate, but
someday, hopefully.
Yeah,
but we're getting as close as is fucking possible, and it's. I was giddy. It's the best term I can use.
So,
I was
what
giddy.
was the biggest surprise in it for you, Andrew?
Jesus, I don't know. It
So
was
like, when you're sitting in the theater, right,
Butts?
and then
Were you
something
trying to say
happens,
butts?
and you go,
All the
"What?"
butts. In a movie like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It's a movie. I've never seen a movie like that before, visually anyway. But there were so many parts, like when, and I just want to say the casting was. I like the cast.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, there was issues and whatnot with people and talking about it, but I like. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch was perfect.
Well,
the one scene when he shaves his beard and he's got the
Yeah.
goatee, I'm like, oh, that's fucking Doctor Strange. And then when he's fighting the one dude and he comes up with the cloak of levitation and he's like, I'm like, nope, right there, that's Doctor. I remember I leaned over to my girlfriend, I was like, that's Doctor Strange. That's it, right there. It did it for me.
Real quick, Andrew, what you're talking about the quote whitewashing controversy with the Ancient One. I'm fine with it. Tilda Swinton's an amazing actress.
If it sucked, it would have been a bigger issue.
Yeah. And if she hadn't,
Winning cures everything.
well, yeah, but she's also a really capable and believable actress. If she had tried like a weird accent or like or not been a good actress, like it would have gone a completely different way for me. But she was look in a perfect world, it would have been an Asian person playing that character. But I'm fine with it being
Tilda Swinton. She kind of in her own right was kind of a left field casting anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
because
she did,
Tilda
like,
Swinton
very
is a fucking
androgynous.
alien.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I just mean in general. Like you heard that, like when I heard that she was casted, I was like, for what?
right.
Like that was my immediate reaction.
Yeah.
And then they said I didn't even know what the fuck the Ancient One was because I don't know dick about Doctor Strange.
Oh, really?
Other than
I got a shitload of old Doctor Strange comics from the 70s. If you want
like
to
no,
borrow them.
like honest to God, I don't know anything about. And apparently there was a show in the 70s.
Oh, really? Wow, I did
don't
not know that.
Still can't figure out from one source or another source. I mean, I could look it up, but I haven't. If it was live action or if it were cartoon, I've heard two different things about it. But I know that it was a thing that happened, and that was a lot of people in the 70s like really liked Doctor Strange. So there's a lot of older folks now that were like, "Oh shit, Doctor Strange was my shit."
Yeah.
So
Well, there was a lot of acid in the 60s and 70s.
yeah, no,
So,
absolutely. So they really capitalized on it for sure with the show.
back
That's
to
what I mean.
back to the cast. Yeah, I mean, God, Rachel McAdams, she's
Yes.
great.
Night
Charming.
Nurse 3.
Very charming.
Yeah.
She was Night Nurse. I think her character is in the comic books regarded as the third Night Nurse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So we have Night Nurse 1 on Netflix, and we have Night Nurse 3 in the films now.
and
Well, they
my
even referred to her, Claire, as the Night Nurse.
The Night Nurse.
And Luke Cage.
Yeah.
and my total urge to bang her aside. I agree that yes, Jordan, she is very charming, and in everything I've seen her in, she's been amazing. I was saying to Rob after the movie that at some point we have to have
Night Nurses.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
as Tony Stark and Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and then her between them because she's been now with both Sherlocks.
And I hope that one of them goes,
And
"No
there's-
shit, Sherlock."
Yeah, and there's got to be that. They have to drop that line at some point. Like,
So Jordan, what was the biggest surprise for you in it?
Well, like you, I have no prior experience with Doctor Strange, so I was fresh
a load of
with the
these guys,
whole
huh?
storyline.
hashtag
And
get around these
obviously,
guys.
like, I knew
Give these
that
guys
the
a
Ancient One wasn't gonna make it, but that whole sequence where they're fighting in the mirror dimension,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're running and jumping, and then all of a sudden she falls through the fucking
Yeah,
glass and hits the fucking ground.
yeah.
That was
That-
rough.
The way
that-
she hits
that
the ground, I'm
kinda
like,
took me by
oh.
surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was rough. The biggest surprise for me in it was that we got Dormammu in the way that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got to see
I
fucking
thought
Dormammu.
it seemed at the beginning that it was going to kind of be a Thanos dick
Yeah.
tease.
Yeah, I thought so too.
no,
but
I like that. It was full blown Dormammu.
It was full, dude. The effect on his face
Yeah.
of like it was
Yeah.
Crazy.
The,
And you
the
could-
rippling
and
on
you could
his
kind of see the fire
Yeah.
around him. Like
Yes.
it was almost a disembodied head
Oh.
with the fire coming up.
dude. That was
I think it was just that he was so fucking massive.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we saw was his head.
So for me,
So
for me, the
great.
biggest surprise in it was that Dormammu was one in it, and two in it, essentially as the big bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was just awesome because when you looked at the advertising and stuff like that, and you looked at you're like, oh, who the fuck is Caecilius? Whatever.
Right.
It's going to be another one of those one-hitter quitter Marvel villains that shows up, has the thing, and beat him real easy at the end, and it's over. While he was that, there was a larger thing at play, which made it far more interesting to me than just I stopped you from bringing Dormammu to Earth, and that was it. But for me, the biggest surprise was Dormammu, period.
Yeah.
And I love the way that he beat him. Because how else are you going to beat... Or how else can you do that?
Yeah.
Unless you're the Sorcerer Supreme, which he isn't yet.
Well, he is now.
Is he? Because they said at the end we don't have a Sorcerer Supreme.
At the end of the film, and then in the first credits scene... Yeah. For me, the visual cue of him now having the gloves is what makes him
# the gloves.
The gloves. For me, the gloves.
New record, folks.
Is the thing
Sweden.
that makes him now he is the Sorcerer Supreme because he's wearing
and
I could be wrong, obviously.
I think you're right because he's assumed that mantle. He's got again the list that he's people he doesn't want to fuck it over here on Earth.
Well, even the Ancient One gave him the option of being the master of New York.
The New York one he didn't want.
Yeah, but he was just like, I kind of want to go back to being selfish.
I want to go back to being selfish or take your job.
Yeah.
One thing real quick I was saying to Rob, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Bendy Drip Cumberdum. Yeah, okay, anyway. We could do that for hours. I could do that for hours. Anyway, in the trailers, didn't really hear him talk much. And he has an amazing voice, and his British accent is so recognizable. Because I love Sherlock. It's a great show. If anyone's never watched it, watch it. It's
on BBC America.
It's on Netflix.
On
too,
Netflix.
So,
on Netflix.
Anyway,
UK.
Dude, it's got Martin Freeman. Like, come on. It's a great fucking show.
Like Martin Freeman.
Anyway.
Martin Freeman.
The bassist from Megadeth?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was concerned about how he would sound with an American accent. And
he killed it, dude.
He did. I went to the theater being like, you know what? If they even just fucking said...
Make him British.
Yeah, just have him have a British accent. Fuck it. I'd buy into it. You know, British Doctor Strange. He lives in America. He's an American citizen, whatever. He's British accent. Maybe he grew up in Britain and came over. I don't know. But his American accent was spot on. I really liked... He's one of the best heroes that's come along in the MCU.
He sounded just like Hugh Laurie in House.
Yeah,
if you close your eyes,
agree.
it was like House is fighting Dormammu.
I was waiting for him to start popping pills.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Real quick, I'm sorry. This is a total thing, but I want to bring it up real quick because I think they're going to try and tie it in with now that we've had Doctor Strange and it's that there are dark dimensions and so forth. So Johnny Blaze is totally in the MCU now. That was from in most recent Shield, right? Most recent episode of Agents of Shield.
It was Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze show. So for anyone who hasn't watched Agents of Shield,
came in his pants.
I love Ghost Rider. I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan.
That's my favorite Ghost Rider.
He's my favorite Ghost Rider. Yeah.
With Danny Catch me in a close second, but
Robbie Reyes is cool.
For anyone who hasn't watched Agents of Shield, this season has been the Ghost Rider season. Robbie Reyes with the Black Charger,
which is pretty fucking awesome.
And the effects they've had for it. ABC's been going all out. If it's the last season, they're going to just spend all the money they have on it. It looks great. So the most recent episode, they went into how Robbie got his powers, in that he and his brother were attacked by like some hitmen, and
they were bit by a radioactive.
And he actually died. Robbie Reyes actually died, and as he was dying, he was just praying to anyone who would listen to save his life, and Johnny Blaze came along.
Oh shit!
And brought him back to get vengeance on those that attacked them.
No shit!
And in saving his life, transferred some of his Ghost Rider powers to Robbie Reyes, making him also a Ghost Rider. And so you see Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider. He's got like a bullet hole in his skull. It's not because in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is a very stylized skull. It's kind of angular.
Cool. I like
it's demonic.
I've seen the comic book covers of it, and it looks almost dead the same in the show.
And it looks cool.
Yeah.
But I do prefer that human skull, and it was just a human skull with a bullet hole in it.
That's awesome.
And it looked fucking amazing. So they're saying that there is, even if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't continue, that there will be a Ghost Rider spin-off.
Okay.
We don't know if it's going to be a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider spinoff or it's going to be a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider spinoff.
Just
I'm
put it
hoping,
on Netflix.
Yeah,
Just put it on
that's
Get it off network.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. They're saying that it probably would have to be
Netflix.
on
Something
Netflix
like Ghost Rider, yeah.
so it'd have to be because this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been pretty harsh, violently.
Are they saying that it's the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
They're not, but it
Because I
doesn't.
haven't
It doesn't
heard that.
get.
You said that. I was
Because I pay attention. It doesn't get very good ratings. So, but they might keep it going. It's a good advertisement for the MCU. But they moved it to 10 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. so they were able to get away with more blood
stuff.
and stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's been a pretty violent season. But yeah, so just had to throw that out there. Johnny Blaze in the MCU. That's fucking. I was like, yes, please.
And what is it, Zorothos, the Spirit of Vengeance. So now,
I can never remember the name. Yeah.
So now he just gave him some of his powers. So
in bringing him back to life, Brian. So.
I don't know if it's that he gave him some of his powers because Robbie Reyes' powers seem very Ghost Rider-ish. He's when he's Ghost Rider, he's invulnerable. He has super strength, and he can he talks about it being that there's something inside him, but then he also has some sort of control over bringing it around, and it's Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
But yeah, so just wanted to bring that in because that to me that was a pretty big development in the MCU as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm confirmed.
God damn it. But yeah, that mid-credit scene got me so fucking
Changing gears back
so
to
fucking psyched.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean,
Well, so that was
brings it into the bigger MCU.
Yeah,
That
so
that was clearly
one of the other questions that I wanted to ask was, did you catch the War Machine Easter egg?
Yeah.
In
Oh, you
Doctor
didn't?
Strange.
wait a minute.
So when he's driving in his car,
Uh-huh.
right before the car accident.
And
Where he
his
loses
assistant is giving him.
Oh,
a
yeah.
list of things.
So
Yeah.
she
Yes.
describes almost exactly the
I know.
the injuries that War Machine sustained. But there was a second.
Oh, yes.
There was a second case that he could take up, and it was something about a woman who was struck by lightning.
and had a.
Miss or Captain Marvel.
Is it Captain Marvel?
We don't know.
Did we get
Possibly.
our first in the way that Stephen Strange was dropped in
Winter Soldier.
In Winter Soldier was that the throwing the card on the table
Yeah,
for
probably.
Captain Marvel?
I,
Because they're going to change. Because from what I understand in the comics, her
they can't do it the way
they're
it
not
was in
going to
the
do
comics.
it the way that it was in the comics. So they're going to have to restructure her origin. So is struck by lightning the thing that they do?
Because her origin is Kree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And while the Guardians have been... The Kree were introduced in the Guardians and then expanded on in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that would be a stretch to try and bridge those. So, yeah, I get that. I think it probably is. I don't think they... Everything is calculated.
Yeah. Because there
They
was
don't
only
just drop shit.
2 potential clients that he had.
I think there was a third,
but
it
I don't
was
think
like...
he didn't get to hear it, right?
I don't
thought
know.
it was she.
I thought it was just like some random.
Yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
thought the first one was like a random thing, and then the second one was Rhodey,
Yeah.
and then the third one was
Carol
whatever
Danvers.
this was.
Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I wanted to bring up. The last thing that I have about Doctor Strange is, what is the impact on the MCU?
Yeah.
Well, first, one thing that I was when Mordo, by the way, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Thank you. He was
Good
awesome.
for you
Thank
for even attempting.
He is an amazing actor.
Brian has a thing for getting names right. I don't know if
well,
anybody
look,
knows.
I mean, if it's their name, I want to make sure. Gal Gadot and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yes,
that was from our Lost episode. Nobody ever heard that.
It's their name, so I want to get it right.
Yeah, but they also exist
Like,
in
I
the
don't
public
want
sector,
people.
so fuck them.
I don't want people calling me Brian Neely. Okay, it's not fucking Neely. It's Neil. All right. Anyway, respect the English E at the end, bitch. But yeah.
Well, in that case, my last name is Yetzi.
Yetzi.
Because it's like a
No,
pizza
your
with
name
the
is
two Z's.
Pibsy.
That's
Pibsy.
true.
Pibsy man. Anyway.
Pibsy man. Mr. Pibb.
So for
Pib
me,
Man, too, good for
the MCU is now infinitely expanded.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
with there's no bounds
Oh,
now.
but what you were going to say about first Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Was something that really like caught my eye when he said it. His staff of the Living Tribunal.
Yeah.
What?
I had to elbow Rob with that.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Living Tribunal just got dropped.
So, do you think that's just kind of like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink, or do you think it's like, yeah, the fucking Living Tribunal is in this, is in the universe now?
It's probably just the Living Tribunal is in the universe.
Yeah.
That's
It's both.
amazing.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean, because
where did he get the name?
Well, they also have the Bonds of Sidorak.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, well, they can't do Juggernaut, but that.
Yeah, but Juggernaut in the Foxmen franchise,
Foxmen.
in the Foxmen world, the Jewel of Sitorak is not even involved in Juggernaut.
No.
Yeah,
The Juggernaut from Last Stand was just mutant. That's it.
Yeah, that was annoying.
I mean, look, I love Vinnie Jones, but that was fucking pointless. Anyway,
yeah. So the impact on the MCU. So we've gone through, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
And you called it with it being the Time Stone. I thought for sure it was going to be the Soul Stone.
Soul is the only thing that's left.
I like how he's just like, yeah, that's time. We're not dancing around anymore. It's like, this is the Time Stone they have in the Eye of Agamotto.
They could have just.
Well, they did it in Guardians with the Power Stone.
Yeah.
They could have just looked right in the fucking camera, like, all right, we got the Time Stone.
That's basically what he did.
Well, I think that the reason that they're doing that now is because of all of the confusion with the one from Thor: The Dark World. Because at the time, that could have been any of them. Because we were all like, what the fuck is
the reality? No, it's the power. No, yeah.
I thought for sure it was the power when I first saw it before any of the other movies came out. It is the reality one for sure. Because, I mean, it was the thing with the
it's like a goo.
The realms passing over one another. And they were fucking passing through they're just flying through different realities.
Yeah.
So that was that. But
realms.
So what's left?
Soul is the only
one. I think going forward, it would make sense to pair Scarlet Witch with Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think that would be an interesting combination.
Yeah.
My priapism is growing.
And it would definitely make sense, especially because of the effect that they used to show him doing the magic. Like he's literally wearing the magic on his wrists and things, and then she has it floating outside of her fingers with that weird finger shit that she does. So it totally would make sense, and I mean, God help the CG budget.
Real quick. So even though I'd seen it in the commercials and not the commercials, in the trailers previous, when the Ancient One first drew up the fucking the source code, the spell, I was a little girl, just like
doing the
it was so,
movements.
and this is why you got to see in IMAX 3D. The spells in IMAX 3D are fucking incredible
because they're like burning.
They're fucking. They're there on the fucking screen, man. Anyway, I'm sorry, 3D. But no. So I just you brought that up, like that was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Hashtag that's cool.
He wears. He like unlocks it because he does the thing with his hands to get into it.
Yeah.
And then the power of the stone is attainable. So then he puts the one on this hand, puts the other one on this hand, which is all the fucking Doctor Strange toys have the things that connect to their wrists to show that he's in it. Yeah. So he's within the power of it, and then he's just literally just turning a dial.
Like
to watch
apple?
Time go. Oh, dude, the apple was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like all the way eaten, not eaten at all the way, and he was like going to the middle, like a little half eaten, then turn it all the way to eaten again. Like that was, I loved how, even though he's
look, Marge, I'm in America, I'm in Australia, I'm in America, Australia.
We're even though tolerate that crap in America.
He's a brilliant scientist and doctor. It's still like that was like a little thing that like made him just like a relatable person. Like everybody would
like,
everybody would
I have control over time.
What? So that was really cool. But like just the impact on the greater MCU in general is that I would assume he would kind of hang back in a larger scale fight and kind of control shit. But he doesn't even need to, because he got all of his training in fighting Dormammu at the end. Yeah. He could have infinitely just used that as a training device to figure out all of the new spells that he was trying to do. He had the shields up at one point, and he was fucking blocking shit off.
You think it was just, he was like, okay, I don't want to do it this way this time. Can we just think of something new?
But that's the thing, he racked through all of the potential things to learn and got practice with all of them.
Yeah.
Which is why probably at the end of that, going into the mid-credits scene, he's the Sorcerer Supreme now because he did all of them, which is just such a cool fucking concept.
Yeah,
I just love when Dormammu's like just kind of smashing. He's like, shit.
The potential for the rest of, especially Infinity War, is just staggering.
It's crazy now where the stones all are.
Yeah,
because Asgard has the Tesseract or the Space Stone.
Yeah, Space Stone.
The Mind Gem is in Vision's fucking head.
Yep.
The Reality Gem was in the Collector's Collection.
I think it still is.
But, I mean, the explosion in Guardians, it could have gone somewhere else.
We don't know. Yep.
The Power Gem is with Nova Corps.
Yep.
And Time is around Doctor Strange's neck.
Well, not right now.
Well, he had it in the thing.
It's in his keeping.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So the weird thing is that we're going right into Infinity War. Mm-hmm. So in one of these movies, we have to allude to the fact that Thanos is collecting them.
It'll probably be Thor Ragnarok.
That very well could be. I mean, because it just, for me, it doesn't make any sense that somehow Thanos has them. How are you going to tell that story in 2.5 hours? That he attains all of them somehow and then goes to war with
Out of the 3 Marvel movies next year, that seems the most likely one to introduce.
And it would make sense with the name.
Ragnarok. No, absolutely. Yeah.
But I was kind of disappointed. I wouldn't say really disappointed that we didn't get Adam Warlock at all in
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but it wasn't even a thing that I thought about going to the movie, watching the movie. It was only in reflecting after.
He's
the fact.
in the MCU.
I didn't think about it until you mentioned it. He won't be in there until Infinity War.
I wouldn't think so.
Adam Warlock? No way.
I just feel you have to kind of explain him before you.
They could do it right at the beginning. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying that he he and the Soul Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Are completely, and that's why we were thinking going into Doctor Strange that that the Soul Stone was going to be there,
right?
Because we were going to get Adam Warlock, Soul Stone, Doctor Strange. It all makes sense, and they didn't do any of that,
right?
And it still turned out fucking awesome. But where is the plan for the Soul Stone?
Yeah.
Like, where is it?
I don't know.
Where does it come out? Is it going to be in Guardians again? Is Guardians going to be another movie that gets another?
I don't
stone?
think so. The James Gunn seemed pretty adamant that Guardians 2 is going to be its own thing.
Okay.
That technically it's a Marvel movie, and it's not going to ignore what happened in the past.
But it's not going
to fit into the Infinity War build-up.
Okay.
And we're going to get who we've all wanted to see, Beta Ray Bill.
Are you confirming that here?
Yeah, I'm calling it. I'm calling Beta. Hashtag Andrew's calling Beta Ray Bill.
Are you going to
November
leave the fucking
2016.
theater if the credits roll? And wait, no, you'll have to leave the theater no matter what. When the credits roll. So,
so yeah, I probably will.
I'll have to hold you back and then go like, oh wait, no, we're leaving.
Oh no, we can leave. The movie's over.
So what if? And this is a total shot in the dark. But what if we get like a Soul Gem reference in Spider-Man?
There's Soul Stones, Jordan.
In Spider-Man?
Sorry, Infinity Stones.
In Spider-Man?
It's possible. I don't see how you could conceivably really do it, especially Spider-Man being the kind of the street level of the film series.
Yeah.
I just
It could totally be like a post-credit scene where we see like Oscorp has found this stone.
That seems a little bit of a write-off, though.
And then that's that.
I mean,
Final
they could, but I would. Every one of these stones has been an integral part of the movie that they've been a part of. Eye of Agamotto, Mind Stone, Tesseract, Aether.
The Mind Stone technically
Power
had
Stone.
2 films.
Yeah, it did. So they've all been. I don't think they're going to just relegate the Soul Stone to being an afterthought. I don't think so. It's possible that they don't reveal the Soul Stone until Infinity War. That's possible, and that's the impetus. Wherever the Soul Stone is and Thanos finding it, that's the impetus for him getting everything else.
And then Adam Warlock right there.
So the thought for me in Infinity War is, because having read Infinity Gauntlet, who is the character that is advising Thanos? Because in the comic book, I forget who was it, Mephisto or
I don't honestly.
it wasn't Mr. Sinister, so I think it was Mephisto.
I think probably.
He's all red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Mephisto.
Yeah.
My fist. Oh,
Isn't he more X-Men?
Mephisto?
Yeah.
no,
No,
Mephisto's
he's Silver Surfer. Well, he's a lot of things.
Yeah, no. He's,
Well, I'm trying to figure out movie rights wise.
I
where
think
he
he's.
falls.
I think he really falls more with Ghost Rider than anything.
Yeah,
but
but the thing is, he's also an arch enemy of Silver Surfer, and that's Fox. So,
I'm pretty sure Mephisto is Marvel, not is for the MCU.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out because Adam Warlock doesn't make sense in that role.
Yeah,
but I mean, they could fix it.
Well, and then there's also Lady Death. Are they actually going to? They actually going to have Thanos?
Lady Death is specifically a different thing.
Death in the form of a lady.
I believe she's Mistress Death.
Is Thanos going to be courting death, as was the line dropped at the end of Avengers, or is it Hela in Ragnarok? Is that who he's going to be courting? So is that why they're introducing Cate Blanchett, such a top tier actress, as a villainess? So
what if
they're going to be? They might be taking liberties, you know.
Yeah.
And,
well, I was just trying to because regardless of what happens in any of those movies, that role needs to be filled because that's the one that in that comic that leads Thanos to do all these things.
Yeah.
That's his main drive to do anything.
And again, it could be Adam Warlock, and they do it at the very beginning of the movie, and you look at it before Iron Man began.
Right.
That this is what Thanos.
I think it'd be awesome if it were Loki in that role because it works.
Well, they are going to do Lady Loki too. I've heard Eva Green as female Loki, who looks like a female.
Eva
Tom
Green.
Hiddleston. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. She looks like a female Tom Hiddleston.
That'd be fucking great.
Yeah. Can you picture her as?
I can
as
picture her
Loki?
in a lot of ways, but yeah,
God damn it,
dude, she's like that's my bread and butter right there.
I got you. I'm just saying. Brian's thrown his dick at like 5 people today.
It's a fucking
I
throw my
dog.
dick out in a wide 360-degree arc.
It's a wide dick net, if you will.
Wide dick net.
Hashtag wide dick net.
Wide dick net.
Net, not neck.
It's a numbers game, guys. It's a numbers game.
I statistically, yeah, I guess.
So we'll just get into the last thing.
Okay.
Andrew.
So, okay, but anyone, you want to do final thoughts, Doctor Strange?
Jordan, have any final thoughts?
I thought it was enjoyable. I don't think it was the best Marvel movie, obviously. It's an origin story, and I'm just very excited to see where they go placing him with other people.
Yeah.
I think, like, the highlight of that movie for me, honestly, was him and interacting with Thor.
And he kept refilling the beer.
Great.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Final thoughts on Doctor Strange, Andrew?
I loved it. I very much enjoyed it. I felt like it was just a movie because they were like, okay, we really want Doctor Strange in the MCU. But to that extent, it was still really good, and it was crazy to look at, and I really liked all the characters. Every actor in it was great.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed it.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll wrap that. Can't follow that at all. So
as we are getting to the end, it is time that I ask the all-important question:
Who farted?
It was Andrew.
It was Andrew.
Good night, everybody.
Hashtag.
You missed it. He did. It was real.
I hope that. Did you see it on the capture?
Jordan will hear it on the replay.
I think so.
Oh no, it.
Andrew.
Yes.
Just so you know, Jason Todd is the Arkham Knight.
That's we're never.
I wasn't even thinking of bringing it up.
We are never getting off of that, are we?
Thank you, Jordan. Jordan, you're my hero.
So we're doing Carnage versus Lobo. Okay,
who would win? Carnage versus Lobo
in a battle to the death. Carnage, Cletus Cassidy versus fucking Lobo. And we're talking. I want to say
Lobonovich.
I want to say. You know what? I would say either the classic Lobo or the new Pretty Boy Lobo. Which, I mean, it makes sense that they changed him like this because he's kind of a reflection of the popular trends in comics at the time, which is why he was like this parody of like the Punisher and things like that, and then people fucking loved him, so
Yeah. that's
that's why he's like that. And the way he is now, I mean, it's kind of it makes sense.
that's some of the notes that I have on him.
Damn,
so
I'm good.
So I wrote Carnage. Obviously, he is an alien symbiote.
Yeah.
He is stronger than Spider-Man and
Also-
Venom combined.
Also
Combined, yeah.
batshit crazy.
He is a
He's cat.
shapeshifter. He uses web substances to create weapons.
Mm-hmm.
He
He's
can
red.
plant. He can plant
Right as
thoughts.
fuck.
And black.
He can plant thoughts with the tendrils that climb off of him and stuff like that. That are part of the symbiote. He can cling to any surface. He sees in all directions. He has rapid regeneration.
He can send his tendrils through.
Yeah.
I know, like, I remember one comic that he sent his tendril through a webcam and it came out the screen of someone else and killed them. Like, so he can send his tendrils through the fucking internet.
That's amazing.
Oh god, he's the ultimate troll.
He's vulnerable to sound and heat. He can mutate appendages into weapons.
Yep.
So there's a lot of, and obviously he's an absolute
And Cletus Cassidy is a
insane
mass
lunatic.
murderer. Read if you haven't, everybody read Mind Bomb.
Mind bomb.
Yeah, it's delves into Cletus Cassidy's mental.
Does it
It's fucking
Blow our
crazy.
minds.
Ironically, no.
Oh, lame.
So Lobo,
So Lobo Lovanovich.
Esquire.
There's arguments within the people that write him.
Yeah.
Excuse me, how strong he is. But the overwhelming thing is that he's as strong as the demon Etrigan.
Okay.
There was something that said he's as strong as Superman, and then there was something immediately after that said that he's just he has regular human strength.
Well, he's fought Superman,
Right.
so
I've read comics where he takes a punch straight to the face from Shazam.
Yeah,
Excuse me, Captain Marvel at the time.
no,
but-
it's Shazam.
But I mean, he takes it's
Yeah.
actually kind of awesome.
Well, it's
He
so he
punches him
has
through his beer bottle.
so he has superhuman durability. He has a heightened sense of smell because he's a bounty hunter. He's a formidable combatant. He carries a large chain with a gutting hook.
Yes,
I
Metal.
forget the name of it.
totally metal.
But there's
Skulls
the
everywhere.
garrote. The garrote, I think it's called. Yeah.
It's just metal as fuck.
You're thinking of Gal Gadot. It's a garrote.
He has explosives and firearms. He has a time-traveling, space-faring motorcycle. And he can completely regenerate from a pool of blood.
I hate that.
He is functionally immortal.
I hate it when they do that. One drop of Wolverine that respawns.
So
Dude, shut up! That's the entire franchise.
So having heard all of that, who would win?
I mean, it's obviously Lobo, but I really would love to think that somehow Carnage would.
It's not a
Kill
stump.
him.
I don't think it's a stump that it's Lobo, but I mean Lobo again. Like my biggest argument is I've read the comic where he takes a punch to the face,
Yeah.
dead on from Shazam, who is Superman level strength.
Yeah.
You know, and they got into a big fist fight. I mean, he lost, but they got into a fight and he was able to hold his own against him. Carnage is fucking terrifying to begin. He's not physically as strong, but he has all these other attributes like agility and just unpredictability.
Yeah.
For one thing, he can make weapons out of
Wild card bitches.
yeah.
Jordan, who do you think would win?
I feel like there's a slight chance for Carnage to win because, I mean, you touched on the tendrils being able to do, like, mind control,
Yeah.
almost.
And travel
So-
through electricity.
Yeah.
So he could always, send Lobo back in time and then, whatever. But,
How do we get time travel in there?
Like his mind.
with a motorcycle,
Yeah.
Oh, right.
yeah. So
Leave
you'd
it-
be like, hop on your bike.
Leave it to Jordan
Fuck
to
outta
pick up
here.
on the time travel
Heard
element.
time travel.
Yeah.
So
It's just a thing. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a small window there for Carnage to actually to win. So I'm
Yeah.
going to say like
Possible.
Lobo will win maybe like 8 out of 10 times.
I give Lobo a 437 out of 522 times. Fuck you
Okay,
guys.
that's very-
Fuck you guys and your fucking fractions.
Yeah.
Bringing math into this bullshit.
That's fucking great.
It's just basic numbers. Like, it's not
8 out of 10. Those 7 out of 10. Oh, okay.
So
6 out of 10.
So for me, Lobo wins 10 out of 10 or 537 out of 537 because of his inconsistent and convenient powers.
Yeah,
Which is what he was.
Yeah.
That's why he was made for part of the reason.
I was initially on the Carnage train till I started reading that Lobo regenerated his entire body, his entire being
from blood,
from a pool of his own blood.
Real quick, can I just say Carnage Train is an awesome band name? Or it would be like an album on the Carnage Train.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
but
metal.
So for me, it's Lobo, but it's begrudging. It's a begrudging Lobo vote. So ultimately, we'll go around the table.
Yeah.
Lobo, begrudgingly, Brian.
I say Carnage pulls it out.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm going Lobo. Totally.
Jordan.
I'm gonna have to do Carnage.
Ooh, a house divided.
So Rob and I are going to get into a fist fight. We're just going to beat up Brian because Jordan's not here.
Not the way I'm farting. You're not going to get near me.
I'm gonna hang up on Jordan, and that'll be real. Yeah, fuck you. You're wrong.
And then we won't invite Brian
unless
to dinner.
Carnage does some crazy shit like drink the pool of blood.
Yeah, but then you get Lobo Carnage.
Lobarnage.
Ooh, I want to draw that. That's awesome. Oh,
Carnobo.
And now he's not intimidating.
And
anymore.
now he's a wax. He's
Well,
Carnubo.
Carnage could technically absorb like people.
So,
Like using the symbiote.
He's the symbiote.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I just from what I like as I read it, I was just like, oh well, this is a fucking bullshit. God damn it. That's just what it turned into.
Well, this is a fine
So,
howdy do.
Yeah.
So if he ever gets Lobo to the point of the pool of blood, he could absorb said pool of blood
into
the symbiote.
I'll bring it back to what we talked in the last episode when you were here, Jordan, about the Neversoft Spider-Man game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd rather fight Lobo in a game than fight Doc Arnage, whatever the Doc Carnage. Monster Rock. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm going to give this to Carnage.
My 12-year-old brain couldn't handle that, and I was scared out of my mind. I beat it.
I lost that fucking part so many times. Anyway,
it was hard.
So much jumping up and down. And screaming.
We have 2 for Lobo, 2 for Carnage. Civil War.
What do you? Let us know in the comments what you think.
Yes.
All of you beautiful people out there, you fucking nerds. Let us know what you think. Tell us why we're right or tell us why we're wrong. We would love to hear it.
Tell Brian he's an asshole.
Yeah,
soliciting your comments in pleasing baritones.
All of
All this and more.
All right, guys.
Now I'm leaving.
I gotta hang up because I gotta go find my sling ring.
All right,
so
Jordan.
Get out of the dimension.
Yes, that's the only way to get out of the mirror universe.
Dude, I hope you find it or you're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going to be talking to you from next
I
week.
don't want to be. Someone just turns the building that I'm in upside down.
Don't fall into that window.
And whatever you do, stay away from stained glass.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Because stained glass apparently changes constantly.
Yeah,
but nobody notices.
It's a big thing here. I don't know.
All right, so I'm Robert.
I'm Brian.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Jordan.
And Godspeed, everyone.
Fuck yeah, Sweden.
You need it. We all need it.
We're coming, Sweden.
Please.
We're coming, Sweden!
That's a wrap on episode 7. We are a house divided. Help us determine who would win in a fight, Carnage versus Lobo. I still think it's Lobo, but I'm not happy about it. Do you agree with our takes on Doctor Strange? What was the biggest surprise in the film for you? What was your favorite sequence? Are you watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Do you like the Ghost Rider season? Would you be bummed if ABC canceled it? You want to talk about Westworld? What are some of your takes on the show? How about that Wonder Woman trailer? Who do you think is the villain? What are some of your expectations? Are you among the 13 million people who've watched the Valerian trailer? What do you make of it? Is what we've seen too similar to The Fifth Element? Let us know. Engage in conversation with us. Let's argue about nerd stuff instead of, You can subscribe to us on YouTube at Pop Culture Shock Headcannon, which is the best way to make sure you don't miss a new episode. You can like us on Facebook at Pop Culture Shock Headcannon, which is the best way to engage with all of us and see some stuff we share during the week that doesn't necessarily make its way into our episodes. And you can follow us on Twitter at PCS Headcannon, which we update with new episodes and information. If that's all too much for you, or you really like us, you can follow us all individually. You can follow me, Robert, the mayor of Popcornopolis, as my Twitter bio declares, on Twitter at Yesball. Jordan can be followed on Twitter and Instagram at Alex Shepard with no vowels, except the A. Andrew can be followed on Twitter at flavored_red and Instagram at skeleton_city_comics. Brian can be followed through a large metropolitan city, but once he discovers he's being followed, he's going to cross the street before you and look back, and a bus is going to pass, and once it passes, he's going to be gone like he was never there. Is he on the bus somehow? Is he hiding behind something? Who knows? Fucking Jason Bourne, mate! Alright, that's it. That's all I've got for you. Stay tuned for our next episode, a cornucopia of topics. Festive.